Tonight, we join together to recognize and celebrate a group of distinguished, outstanding UNB alumni around the world, whose extraordinary accomplishments, dedication to causes, and passion for their craft inspires, motivates, and embodies the spirit of UNB graduates far and wide. These awards represent our remarkable alumni family, whose impacts are deeply felt and profound. The 2020 and 2022 Proudly UNB Award recipients are building up their communities, breaking barriers, forging new discoveries, and changing the world through significant efforts and commitment to medicine and technology, philanthropy and sustainability, mental health and affordable housing, volunteerism and sport, and social justice and human rights. Let's celebrate what it means to be part of the UNB alumni community. Let's honor the alumni of today and tomorrow. Welcome to this year's Proudly UNB Awards.
Well, good evening, everyone, and welcome. My name is Julia Wright, and I am the host of Information Morning in St. John, CBC, and also a proud UNB Bachelor of Arts alumna. And during my career, I've had the privilege of meeting so many leaders and thinkers and entrepreneurs from all walks of life. And I'm very honored to be here this evening in the presence of so many more. So I'm really looking forward, as I know you are, to spending the next few hours together as we hear the remarkable stories of the 2020 and 2022 Proudly UNB Award winners. So these are individuals who are building up their communities, they're people who are breaking down barriers and changing the world. I'd like to take this moment to respectfully acknowledge that UNB stands on the unsurrendered and unceded traditional Wolastoqey land. The lands of Wabanaki people are recognized in a series of peace and friendship treaties to establish an ongoing relationship of peace, friendship, and mutual respect between equal nations. The river that connects our two campuses is known as Wolastoq, along which live Wolastoqiyik, the people of the beautiful and bountiful river. Wolastoq is also called the St. John River. Now, before we move along any further, I do need to pass on just a few housekeeping details. As I think you've all picked up on, this is a masked event, so we do ask that you just keep the mask on for the duration of the ceremony, unless you are eating or drinking. The bar will be open during the ceremony only, and there will be a reception afterwards, so please refrain from eating or drinking while at the reception. And to the honorees, once you leave the stage after receiving your award, you can make your way over to the photo booth directly over there, should you wish to have a distanced and unmasked photo taken. So for some of you, this may be your first large social gathering or event like this since the start of the pandemic. And if that is the case for you, we are delighted that you've chosen to spend it with us. The honorees that we are celebrating this evening are outstanding and truly deserving of recognition. Their accomplishments, their dedication, their passion have inspired and motivated, and they embody what it means to be a graduate of UNB. It is now my great pleasure to welcome to the stage the Associated Alumni President, Jill Jeffrey.
Thank you, Julia, and welcome everyone to our Proudly UNB Awards evening. It's so truly wonderful to have everyone in person here and seeing all of you here tonight. After 2 years of not being able to celebrate our remarkable alumni family, this certainly is a very, very special evening for everyone. First of all, thank you to everyone that has traveled to be with us in Fredericton this evening. We recognize and honor all our recipients tonight of our Proudly UNB Awards. As president of the Associated Alumni, I've had the privilege of hearing these unique stories of alumni near and far, sharing these stories with others, and celebrating many, many accolades. Tonight, the association is recognizing just a few of these great individuals and this group. As you have heard in this evening's introduction, our award recipients are truly outstanding. They're making an impact in many, many fields: sport, medicine, technology, sustainability, just to name a few. And I know I'm not the only one that feels incredibly inspired by the accomplishments of all of these recipients. While the Proudly UNB program was first established in 2005, the Association of the Alumni has presented these awards and the Award of Honor since 1971. The purpose of these awards is to honor alumni of UNB who have distinguished themselves through their achievements, outstanding service to their alma mater, their communities, the province of New Brunswick, and beyond. Candidates are nominated through a call for nominations, a process, and the awards committee of the Alumni Council administers this program. Tonight, we are so thrilled to reignite what is a cherished annual tradition for the Associated Alumni and for UNB. If I could, I would ask all of those previously proudly UNB recipients, all those award winners, would you please stand here tonight so that we can acknowledge you? Anyone that has received a proudly UNB recipient in the past? Hi, Tracy. Well, thank you very much. We certainly have some great company here tonight in these award winners. To tonight's Proudly UNB Award recipients, congratulations on this remarkable achievement. I know we are all in for an especially exciting and inspiring evening in your honor. Thank you again to everyone for joining us this evening, and I really hope you enjoy the celebrations. Thank you.
Thank you, Jill. And now, on to why we're here this evening. I would like to call upon Alumni Association Executive Director Michelle McNeil to present the Group of the Year and the Volunteer of the Year awards. Our first Proudly UNB award is Group of the Year. This award recognizes a group that has made a significant contribution to UNB alumni, students, the university, or the associated alumni. The 2022 Group of the Year is the Beaverbrook Scholars Executive Committee, composed of Chair Jamie Petrie, Vice Chair Blair Kennedy, Secretary Laura Richard, Past Chair John Thompson, and Student Representative Alexa Pelletier. The Beaverbrook Scholars Executive Committee gives their time, talent, and resources to pay homage to Lord Beaverbrook and celebrate Beaverbrook scholars through the annual organization of networking events, dinners, and meetings. They also ran the most successful alumni fundraising campaign in UNB history, raising over $3.5 million and surpassing $3 million currently awarded in scholarships to students. To date, the awards have supported 92 recipients, currently with annual entrance scholarships valued at $50,000 over 4 years. The Beaverbrook Scholars Awards continue to be among the most prestigious awards at UNB. The committee celebrated the 100th anniversary of Beaverbrook Scholarships in 2020, and to mark the occasion, relaunched their website to highlight the impact of awards on student recipients and recognize the contributions of Lord Beaverbrook himself.
Good evening, everyone. I wish to begin by thanking the Alumni Association for choosing the BSA Executive Committee for this prestigious award. I know that I speak on behalf of all current and past members of the Beaverbrook Scholars Award Executive when I say how honored we are to have been recognized in this manner. In my opinion, this award is in recognition of the committee's collective efforts over many, many years. During that time, the executive committee has had dozens of members, all of whom were active in various ways and were critical to our achievements to date. As a committee, we represent over 1,000 current and past Beaverbrook scholars. We are very proud to have raised over $3.5 million in the last 40 years and awarded over $3 million in scholarships to 92 deserving BSA winners whose lives have been forever changed and enriched by the generosity of our alumni family. Our committee has also benefited greatly from the experienced and diligent efforts of the UNB advancement team, most recently by Craig Poole. Put simply, our committee could never accomplish the good work we do without their assistance and partnership. We've also enjoyed wonderful support from a variety of key players on campus, including the President's Office, Finance, the Awards Office, Facilities Management, and the Alumni Association, to name just a few. I would be remiss if I also didn't mention the importance of the Beaverbrook Canadian Foundation, whose funding and support have been a critical ingredient to our success. As many of you know, the roots of the Beaverbrook Scholars Award were 7 UNB graduates who, along with others, were inspired by Sir Max Aiken's generosity and established the BSAs in 1978 with the simple credo, supporting others as we were once supported. All of those involved in the BSAs, whether former scholars, donors, or current recipients, have been inspired by Lord Beaverbrook's legacy, which began over 100 years ago. As a group, the Beaverbrook Scholars connect generations of alumni to grow and develop UNB through our gifts of time, talent, and treasure, but also as leaders in the community, acting as role models and enhancing UNB's reputation in Canada and abroad. Most importantly, and above all, I wish to thank the students who have received a Beaverbrook Scholarship at UNB. Over the years, I've met many of you at different functions, and despite your varied backgrounds, you all share a common trait, the quest for excellence in everything you do. Your achievements at such a young age continue to inspire our committee and remind us that the future truly does belong to the youth of the world. Your intellect, natural sense of curiosity, and incredible work ethic, along with a commitment to rise above any adversity thrown your way, always impresses us, as I'm sure it would Lord Beaverbrook himself. As Sir Max Aiken once said, "Go out and speak for the inarticulate and the submerged." Thanks to the continued generosity of former Beaverbrook scholars and the full support of UNB, we are confident that is precisely what our BSA recipients will do. The Executive Committee is pleased to accept this Group of the Year award in their honor. Thank you again, and have a nice evening.
Supporting others as we were once supported, that's such an important message. And thank you to all on the committee. We're proud to honor you with this Proudly UNB award. Now, Jamie, we would like to ask you to come forward and accept the award on behalf of the Beaverbrook Scholars Executive Committee. And now, the Volunteer of the Year Award. This award recognizes an alumni volunteer who has contributed to the university and/or the associated alumni, either as a member of a group or as an individual. The 2020 recipient is community leader and dedicated volunteer Brian Freeman, Bachelor of Business Administration, 1974. Brian Freeman has long been a dedicated voice for the UNB Fredericton Red Bombers Football Club, first as a player and now as a member of the board of directors. He's served on the board for over 12 years and as chair from 2012 to 2014. In 2009, 30 years after the football program ended at UNB, Brian and his former teammates united in an effort to bring the Red Bombers back to campus. He has committed countless hours raising awareness in the community, connecting with Red Bombers alumni, and rallying support for the club. He's also been a passionate leader behind the annual UNB homecoming football game, which has served to connect students and alumni and raise funds for the ALS Canada Association riding of the Tony Proudfoot Scholarship. Brian is also a longtime volunteer with the New Brunswick Highland Games and is a children's drum teacher with the Fredericton Society of St. Andrew's Pipe Band. He also serves on the board of Tech Impact, a group of local technology business leaders who know that embracing technology in our economy, education system, and government is the key to our future. They believe in the power of technology to unlock our region's prosperity and build a strong, lasting economy for the East Coast of Canada.
Thank you for this recognition. As with anyone who receives this particular recognition, I accept it on behalf of a great many other volunteers who give back to the University of New Brunswick through their time and efforts. I've been so lucky to have worked with them in bringing back UNB Red Bombers football and reaching back to the alumni who support the team. A coaching and training staff of 8 to 10 who give up all of their spare time and every weekend during football season. Volunteers all. A dozen others who year-round provide the club's business management, undertake student-athlete recruitment across the country, and then on game day, set up the field, take the tickets, bring in the services, live stream the games for the alumni, provide the on-field play-by-play, volunteers all. These volunteers do what they do because of what this university meant to them when they were a student, what this university means to the community, and what they want this university to mean for students today who will one day be alumni and hopefully will give back. In a survey of the attributes that were regarded as the most important in recruiting student athletes, academics was rated number 1 by those student athletes. However, the rest of the top 10 could be summed up under the heading of campus life. It has been said that sport is the university's front porch, where faculties can come together, put on their colors, and all cheer for their alma mater. From the first day of classes, football home games, probably more than any other sport, defines a memory of a second home that UNB alumni take with them long after they've finished their time on campus. On behalf of all of those volunteers who have created the memories, thank you for this recognition of all of their efforts.
This dedicated alumnus is a shining example of what it means to be proudly UNB. Brian, please come forward and receive your Volunteer of the Year award. Now, the 2022 recipient of the Volunteer of the Year Award is U35 Steadfast Volunteer Kyle Ferguson, Bachelor of Business Administration, 2009. Kyle Ferguson is currently Director of Business Operations for the Canadian Hockey League, and since graduating has been an outstanding volunteer for UNB in the cities that he has lived in across Canada. Initially in St. John, where he took on a role with the St. John Sea Dogs, then in Ottawa, where he worked with the Senators, and finally in Toronto with the CHL. Upon graduation, he was recognized as a graduating student leader by the UNB Associated Alumni, Following his graduation in 2009, he has continued to be an enthusiastic volunteer supporting UNB's Under 35 Young Alumni Network with the planning and execution of regional events, the promotion of engagement activities, and the commitment to growing and improving the Under 35 network through an ongoing advisory role. This past year, Kyle has been tremendous as an asset to the UNB associated alumni and UNB as an alumni mentor for Career Talks student networking events, recording encouraging virtual messages for students through exam period and graduation, and leading the chapter charities initiative for the Under 35 Toronto network. Kyle's affinity for his alma mater was evident when, in the middle of the pandemic, he connected with an international UNB student stranded in Toronto due to travel restrictions, making the student feel welcome before even stepping foot on campus. What a fantastic way to share the pride in UNB.
I'd first like to start by saying that I was extremely surprised, yet humbled to have been nominated and awarded the Alumni Volunteer of the Year. I can tell you that I don't volunteer for the recognition, but rather because I enjoyed my time at UNB and have always wanted to continue to support current and prospective students at the university. Since attaining my degree in 2009, I have been a volunteer in various capacities and working very closely with the Alumni Office supporting the Under 35 Young Alumni chapters. Unfortunately for me, throughout my career path, I've been able to support these chapters in St. John, Ottawa, and currently in Toronto. I choose to volunteer for UNB as I'm proud of my roots to New Brunswick and ultimately back to the University of New Brunswick. Whether it has been hosting annual Atlantic University pub nights in Ottawa, to planning and executing networking mixers in Toronto, to career talks and mentorship, I've really just always jumped at the opportunity to support wherever help was needed. So overall, I'm really happy to give back and continue to support initiatives at UNB, and I appreciate the recognition, although I don't feel I need it. I'm very happy to accept the award here today, and I thank UNB Associated Alumni and congratulate my fellow award recipients. You should all be very proud of your contributions to UNB and to your communities. So in closing, I look forward to continuing to volunteer with UNB, even though I will surpass that under 35 age limit later this year. So again, thank you very much. And again, congratulations to everyone here today.
Well, Kyle, age limit or no age limit, we are very honored to present you with the Proudly UNB Alumni Volunteer of the Year Award for your dedication and your commitment to UNB. Well, all UNB alumni began as students, and I'm sure that I can speak for many of us here in this room when I say that our time at UNB was foundational, and it really set a tone for the things that we wanted to do, for our aspirations, and for the things that we ultimately achieved with the rest of our lives. Now, the past 2 years especially have been very challenging, but think about students who are currently at UNB navigating all of these opportunities and challenges and experiences that come with being a university student while at the same time coping with the pandemic. Now, Cordell Walsh is one of those students. He graduated last May with his bachelor's degree in interdisciplinary studies. He returned to UNB this year to continue his education, and he is president of the student union. Now, Cordell, would you please come up and say a few words?
Thank you very much for the introduction, and good evening, everyone. My name is Cordell Walsh. I'm the president of the UNB Student Union, and I'm very honored to be delivering this address on behalf of all students at UNB. I want to take a moment to acknowledge the more than 96,000 UNB alumni, whether you're in the room or not. On this hill sits the oldest English language university in North America, and with that comes a rich and storied history. When you ask a current student what they love most about UNB, you're bound to be told about the community. Each and every alumni has paved the way to create the UNB community that we know and love today. You created a meaningful change on campus in your time as students, and now you continue to give back. You give back by being impactful leaders in your community, inspiring students to also create change. Your financial contributions ensure that students are able to afford and access the world-class education offered by the university. And the time that you give in any number of ways means the absolute world to us. To each and every alumni, your contributions to UNB and its students do not go unnoticed. The support you provide to us, especially through the pandemic, is undeniably impactful and is changing lives. The success and achievements of those being honored tonight are a testament to this. Tonight, the UNB community receives a reminder on how brilliant UNB alumnus are. Your contributions to society set the tone for current and future students as we embark on our lifelong journey and strive for excellence. You provide an example to us all on what it truly means to represent UNB for life. On behalf of all UNB students, current and future, I offer my sincerest congratulations to those being honored tonight, and an equally sincere thank you to all 96,000 alumni who have come before us. Thank you.
Well, thank you, Cordell. And I'd like to now invite Jennifer Sutherland Green, Vice President of the Associated Alumni. And Jennifer is going to be presenting the next awards. Now, the Young Alumni Achievement Award is our next award, and it recognizes the outstanding achievements of alumni who are 35 years of age or younger. 2020 recipient Caleb Grove, Bachelor of Science in Mechanical Engineering 2015 and Master of Technology Management and Entrepreneurship 2017, is a community builder and entrepreneur. Caleb Grove has had an immensely positive impact on many people in a short amount of time. His company, Mabissa Energy Systems, creates sustainable electricity from local materials and labor in rural West Africa. Caleb spent much of his childhood in rural Cameroon on the small island of Mabissa, where there was no electricity and no possibility of grid development. After returning to the province to study engineering at UNB, he took a technology management and entrepreneurship course and began working on a group project to create renewable energy systems. That project, through the support of TME, turned into a sustainable energy tech startup, and Caleb returned to UNB to take the one-year Master of Technology Management and Entrepreneurship program. Mabissa Energy and Caleb received funding and further mentorship through MTME and UNB's accelerator program, Engiria, to develop a sustainable energy system, creating of a central hub in a clinic in Mabissa powered by solar panel technology. The clinic acts as a battery charging station, supplying the community with electricity through rechargeable batteries that can be carried by hand to homes. Over the last couple of years, Mabissa Energy's technicians have performed dozens of installations affecting thousands of people through light, communication, healthcare, education, micro-business, and many other areas of growth. Well done, Caleb. We are so pleased to induct you into our Proudly UNB Awards family. So please come up and accept your award. Well, the first recipient of the 2022 Young Alumni Award is Charit Khatri, Bachelor of Business Administration, 2011 graduate, interculturalism advocate, and community builder. Charit Khatri has dedicated significant efforts to making Fredericton a welcoming place for newcomers and has been recognized with the City of Fredericton's Intercultural Award for his contributions and demonstrations of a sustained commitment to Fredericton's cultural diversity. As a business student at UNB, Charit was part of a group who worked with the City of Fredericton to start the sport of cricket, which led to multiple clubs being formed. He has since worked with the city to strategically reduce barriers faced by immigrants, and he's a board member of the Fredericton Cultural Center and the Multicultural Association of Fredericton. In 2011, he graduated with a Bachelor of Business Administration, specializing in marketing, economics, and human resources, and joined Bulletproof, a comprehensive IT services company headquartered in Fredericton. In 2015, Charit saw a need to share different cultures with locals of Fredericton, and together with two friends, started the Cultural Market. The first of its kind in Atlantic Canada, immigrants have low-cost opportunities to showcase their culture to the city of Fredericton and give the local community a chance to traverse the world through food, art, and culture. Charit frequently delivers presentations to schools in India on trips home, encouraging students to attend UNB and make Fredericton home. We are so glad that he does and that he remains closely knit to the UNB community.
Good evening. I'm both honored and humbled to receive this prestigious award this evening. Obviously more overwhelmed to be in this room with so many folks I deeply care about. There's always a sense of gratitude that one would like to express, and I want to start by thanking my mom and dad for supporting me and setting an example for what excellence looks like. To my younger siblings who have been my constant support system all my life. There are folks present here from my work family who have helped me grow over the last decade. Thank you for being my family away from home. To my UNB colleagues across the world, who I've had the privilege to make lifelong friendships with. Thank you for the support from our student days till now. To my teachers and professors, some of whom are present here today. Thank you for nurturing, valuing, and sharing the gift of knowledge with me. The time at UNB gave me a sense of belonging in a new country. UNB is the cradle of learning the values of the country. Now, as a citizen of Canada, it's an extension of the love and respect I share for both Canada and UNB. The culture I saw at the university and the community of accepting people from different countries and ethnicities resonated with me as they were an extension of the values I grew up with. It encouraged me to believe that each one of us can shape the world by shaping ourselves as individuals and members of the global community. It taught me how to think and engage with the world around us. The work they did for me back then is the reason I'm able to do what I do today. I met some pretty incredible people through this journey. I'm so grateful to them, and I will forever be proud to be a part of UNB alumni. Following my graduation, I chose to stay in Fredericton and make this my home. It was because of the folks I met here at UNB, folks I worked with during my time at UNB, that made that decision an easy one. If given an opportunity to go back in time, do anything differently, I can confidently say I would choose UNB and Fredericton all over again. It gave me a platform to build my life, and for that, I will forever be grateful. I would like to congratulate my fellow recipients being recognized this evening. Once again, thank you so much for this honor and recognition. I'm truly touched and proud to be a UNB alumnus. Thank you.
Well, Charit, please come forward and accept your award. Those are some lovely words about the sense of belonging that you felt at UNB, and we're so pleased to honor you as a recipient of the award this evening. Well, the next young alumnus that we are honoring this evening is community leader and humanitarian Dr. Christos Papadopoulos, Bachelor of Science, 2009. Christos Papadopoulos likes eliciting smiles, and he's a leader in orthodontics, having recently opened his own independent practice, Papadop Smiles, in St. John. Following a science degree from UNB and a Doctor of Dental Surgery degree from Dalhousie University, he was accepted into the single available position at BC Children's Hospital in their pediatric residency program through the University of British Columbia. In Vancouver, he worked as a dentist at BC Children's Hospital and throughout the province, delivering regular and emergency dental care to patients of all ages, but mostly serving children with special needs and inpatient children at the hospital. Subsequently, Christos earned his master's degree in orthodontics at Western University. Back home in Atlantic Canada, he became active in board positions for the Atlantic Orthodontists Association and the Council on Orthodontic Healthcare for the American Association of Orthodontists. He also currently serves as the Atlantic Regional Chair for Smiles for Canada, a national nonprofit whose mission is to provide complimentary orthodontic treatment to children in need. The organization has provided free orthodontic treatment for almost 100 Atlantic Canadian children. Christos is also a dedicated Special Olympics soccer coach, stemming from his time at UNB, when he was a head coach at the 2010 Special Olympics National Summer Games. He has won numerous awards throughout his time as both a student and professional for his dedication as a community leader and humanitarian.
Hello to my fellow UNB alumni, UNB faculty, and others watching. I am truly humbled to receive this honor today from the UNB family. Ever since I stepped foot on the UNB St. John campus back in 2005, I always felt that UNB was a place of welcoming, learning, and community. To this day, I am still proud to be an alumnus of what I believe to be a hidden gem of a university in our home province. As a graduating high school student 15 years ago trying to make plans for my post-secondary education, I remember wondering if I should have went to a larger school outside of New Brunswick, as many of my friends and peers were doing. But once I was on campus at UNB St. John, I quickly realized that UNB was the school for me. The smaller classroom sizes, the opportunities for getting involved with student life, and the real sense of community that I felt reiterated that I had made the right decision. I developed great friendships with both peers and professors, was involved with student government and student life, and received an excellent education that gave me the foundation to go on further in my studies at Dalhousie University, the University of British Columbia, and Western University before returning home to New Brunswick. UNB gave me this great foundation, which consisted of character building, critical thinking, and a deep sense of community. To this day, I am proud of my community and am eager to always find ways to give back. Growing our communities, and not just personal growth, is something that we should all strive to do. For as they say, if you want to go fast, go alone, but if you want to go far, go together. Now, as an orthodontist in my hometown of Quispamsis, I see many patients who are in high school wondering what they should do following graduation, and it takes me back to those days when I was wondering the same thing. However, I am quick to point out to them that they should take advantage of our hidden gem right here in our own backyard, UNB. I am a proud alumnus, and I will always be proud to act as an unofficial ambassador to our local university, just as all alumni should feel. Thank you once again to my UNB family for this award, and I will always be proudly UNB. Thank you.
Well, we are so pleased to honor Christos with our Proudly UNB Award. And Christos, please come forward and accept your award. You notice the caliber of the smiles in that photo montage. So many good smiles. our final 2022 Young Alumni Award goes to Emily Weston, Bachelor of Science in Chemical and Biomedical Engineering and Diploma in Technology Management and Entrepreneurship 2019, Humanitarian and Community Advocate. For the past 2 years, amidst the COVID-19 pandemic, Emily Weston has volunteered and worked tirelessly in a multidisciplinary primary healthcare clinic for those struggling with substance abuse, homelessness, and mental illness. She received funding in a clinic and co-led COVID-19 vaccine clinics for hundreds of the homeless in her hometown, in addition to working one-on-one with Moncton's most vulnerable populations, helping them acquire proper health care, find affordable housing, and access proper nutrition. She assisted in establishing a community food garden through the Humanity Project, which helped soup kitchens feed over 200 people daily, and shared her deep love of music, playing during mealtimes for Moncton's homeless. As an engineering student at UNB with a minor in mathematics, Emily worked as a research assistant to help an informative app for upper limb prosthesis clients, and she also volunteered with UNB Global Brigades to construct a water system in Honduras as part of the United Nations Sustainable Development Goals. Next, she is excited to be working with the Canada Spine East Centre alongside a neurosurgeon studying whether outcomes are improved for removal of brain tumors if a fluorescent dye is used as a visual guide. Among her many accomplishments, she was a 2018 panelist for the Atlantic Association for Research in Mathematical Sciences, helping to inspire young girls pursuing STEM fields. She is preparing to attend Dalhousie Medical School in the fall.
My name's Emily Weston. I'm a first-year medical student at Dalhousie who's doing research in neurosurgery, and I'm an alumni of UNB's Chemical and Biomedical Engineering program. And to celebrate today's award, I wanted to start us off with a story. So, when I found myself particularly inspired in some of my math classes at UNB, my professors approached me as a woman in STEM with the suggestion that I try to pay forward some of that inspiration. So they put me up in front of a room of about 550 girls with the question of, what inspired you to pursue what you did? And I told them this story. So when I was in middle school, I started to get the impression that there were some things I would just never be good at, and that didn't feel very good, so I wanted to do something about it. So I picked up this book about Einstein. And in the first chapter, Einstein describes how it is that he was the one that discovered relativity. He describes how when he was in the first grade, by the time all the other kids had already thought about traveling to space as astronauts or being teachers or firefighters, he didn't think about those things until much, much later, because he said, I thought so slowly that by the time I got there, I thought about them so thoroughly that I just found something different in them. And I told this story to these girls with the intention of saying that if they want to make a difference, then this world needs them exactly at the intersection between what makes them different. It could be passion, it could be diversity, because I firmly believe that often innovation happens at that interface between disciplines, which is why I chose UNB's chemical engineering before going to med school. I thought maybe it could teach me how to think different. I was still looking for that after I graduated, so I showed up one day at a soup kitchen not sure I could be that helpful, and learned that just showing up every day and wanting to hear people's stories can go so far. I later ended up volunteering and then working for a clinic for the homeless and organized vaccine clinics for hundreds of the homeless in my hometown. And every step of the way, it was just problem solving, something I learned from UNB. So I'm very proud to be here today, and I just wanted to say thank you.
Well done, Emily. We are so pleased to present you with the Proudly UNB Young Alumni Achievement Award. So please come forward and accept your award. Just seeing the caliber of the Proudly UNB Award recipients so far is a wow moment. It's truly impressive to see the range of folks being honored tonight. And before we move on to the next awards, I would like to call upon UNB President and Vice Chancellor Dr. Paul Mazerol, please, to say a few words.
There's not a lot of room up here. Thank you, Julia. Good evening. Welcome, everybody. Nice to see so many smiling faces. Nice to see people in person for a change. It really is my distinct pleasure to be here with all of you in person to celebrate the Proudly UNB Awards 2022. I know the night's only half over, but I'm deeply inspired by these stories. I mean, these UNB alumni have done extraordinary things, and it really is humbling. So tonight is a real opportunity to gather and to acknowledge the outstanding achievements, and I think you'd probably agree with me that they really are truly outstanding achievements of our alumni. And so it's a chance to acknowledge and celebrate their achievements and celebrate the service, not only the work that they're doing on behalf of the university, on behalf of their careers, but also the work they're doing in the communities where they live and where they serve and beyond. As I look around this room, I am just very pleased and thrilled to see familiar faces and new faces as well. I am very privileged to be at this event for the first time as UNB's President and Vice Chancellor. Something's happened the last couple of years. We've missed this chance to connect. So it is truly an honor to be back here. As a UNB graduate myself, I deeply understand what this institution does and how it makes an impact on our lives and how it supports individuals on their career ambitions and their career pathways. I must say that one of the many bright spots that I have as president of UNB is meeting several alumni around the country and around the world and hearing about their careers and hearing about their time at the university. Consistently, they describe how their experience here was transformative, and they describe how it meant a great deal in shaping their career outcomes and their success and their outlook and the work that they did. Indeed, I say it's a bright spot because these are really inspiring stories that I've had a chance to experience in this role for the short time I've been in it, but also just to hear by way of illustration this evening the amazing work that graduates and our alumni of this university are doing such amazing things. So I want to take a moment, colleagues, and acknowledge and thank all of our recipients for the hard work and dedication to the work that they're doing to make this world a better place. So they really are inspiring. And I should do this now before I forget. I want to make a toast to the recipients that have come before and the ones that are coming. So can you join with me and to say congratulations to all the alumni? I know we can't hug and shake hands, but we can toast each other. So well done, congratulations. I think it goes without saying, and you'd probably recognize that UNB takes great pride in seeing the success of our alumni, and we are proud, indeed very proud, of all their accomplishments. Each one of our Proudly UNB winners are inspiring. They represent the University of New Brunswick exceptionally well. It is the case, unfortunately, that this event only happens once a year, but we are indeed grateful each and every day for the work that people are doing in businesses and careers, whether it's in education or health or community. There's so many extraordinary things that UNB graduates and alumni are doing that have an impact each and every day. The work that individuals are doing in their career or their communities continues to leave a mark and reflects very positively on our university, but ultimately strengthens our collective ability to make a difference in the world. So please know and recognize that your service and your commitment to serving your communities is deeply valued and appreciated by our university. You are such amazing ambassadors for what we're trying to accomplish as a university. And on that note, I should say and disclose that when I was thinking last night about this event and how special this event is, we reflected that the ultimate reason why we're here tonight really is to celebrate the compact that exists between UNB and its graduates. The relationship between a university and its students is ultimately multifaceted, but at its core it comes down to a two-dimensional compact or agreement. For UNB, we strive, indeed commit, to provide a transformative educational experience for students. And what that means in practice is that we need to ensure that our programs are relevant, our programs are inspiring, and that our programs are attractive to students, but that they need to be designed to meet the needs of students in an increasingly complex and uncertain world and future. We need also to attract and provide excellent educators and scholars, as well as student services and supports, in a campus environment that supports learning, inquiring, and interacting across different social contexts, including educational, experiential, and social. So that's what UNB needs to bring to the compact. But for students and graduates, the compact is very clear. Use your education acquired at UNB to aspire and inspire, to work to make a difference in the world, to work toward making an impact, whether it is through your career activities, your social engagements, in your volunteerism, your community work, etc. I think you'd all agree that our time on this earth is very short, and the chance to use your skills, indeed your gifts, to make a difference in the world cannot be overstated in its importance. So let me acknowledge, finally again, the amazing work of our proudly UNB Award recipients this evening, and recognize the important work they're undertaking and commend them for embracing the compact and for their efforts at making a difference in the world. So let me again close by offering my sincere congratulations, and on behalf of the entire UNB community, I congratulate the 2020 and the 2022 proudly UNB Award recipients. It's a great honor to have you as members of our UNB family. Thank you and congratulations.
That was very well said, Dr. Mazerel. Thank you. And now, once again, we'd like to bring up Jill Jeffrey to present the awards of distinction. Well, this award recognizes truly outstanding contributions, that have been made by alumni in their local communities, as well as regional, national, and international recognition from other organizations or bodies. The 2020 recipients are Patsy Beattie-Huggan, Tom Liston, Anita Naidu, and Peter Pacey. Patsy Beattie-Huggan, Bachelor of Nursing, 1969, humanitarian and innovator. Patsy Beattie-Huggan is the founder and president of The Quake, Inc., a health promotion and consulting company located on Prince Edward Island that attracts teams of interdisciplinary professionals to collaborate on national and international health projects. Her varied and esteemed nursing career has spanned public health, mental health, medical surgical nursing, and nursing education, including several leadership roles. While working in health promotion, she provided leadership to the development of the Circle of Health, which is a health promotion tool that visually illustrates how all aspects of individual, community, and societal health and well-being are connected. It encourages a values-based and systematic approach to research, planning, and evaluation, appealing to academics, community members, policymakers, and others who are working with individuals, families, and communities to promote health and well-being. Patsy travels internationally to train health promoters in its use. Patsy also spearheaded the Atlantic Summer Institute on Healthy and Safe Communities and continues to coordinate this annual learning event designed to build leadership capacity in Atlantic Canada for action on the determinants of health.
Until I moved out of my area of nursing, I did not know that she was internationally known. I didn't realize the impact that she had on people in other countries who had economic and geographic challenges and how they deliver health care. And once I began to understand all of Patsy's accomplishments in faraway places like Serbia and Brazil, we began to notice as a class of 69 that she was actually a hero.
She kept talking about the Circle of Health and this health promotion tool that she'd worked on and developed, I think for the PEI government initially. And then funding was cut, but she took it upon herself to bring it alive and take it on the road and try and get people engaged in using it, which they did. She wants to make a difference in people's lives. She truly believes in health prevention and that there are ways that you can have a better life.
Thank you for the opportunity to share my thoughts on receiving this award and why I love UNB. A few days before Christmas, I received a call from the UNB alumni office informing me of the award. I was excited, unsure how this had happened, and sworn to secrecy until it was publicly announced. However, within minutes, I received a call from two of my excited nursing classmates. What a thrill to learn the nomination came from my whole class, and what an honor to be recognized by UNB. I have known UNB since I could walk. My father, Ira Beattie, head of civil engineering, introduced my brother and I to the old engineering building. We explored the nooks and crannies. It was like home. Likewise the gym, while my parents bowled in a faculty league. And each Christmas, we joined all the UNB brats to hear Colin B. Mackay read The Night Before Christmas in the Old Arts Building. Of course I would be going to UNB, as would my brothers, cousin, nephew, and my son. It's where I met my husband. Our wedding reception was in Lady Dunn Hall. As a student, I was a cheerleader, enjoyed campus life, and took on leadership roles. Elected as Vice President of the Class of '69, I worked with Class President John Dawes to plan reunions, recently celebrating our 50th. I'm fortunate to be a graduate of the Faculty of Nursing. My professors provided quality education, instilled confidence, and encouraged pursuit of my professional dreams. And with my visionary parents, who were role models of leadership and my biggest fans, my foundation was set. I have had incredible opportunities and feel certain that my ongoing work, locally and internationally, is energized by a culmination of many forces. I am proud to be an alumnus of UNB, thankful for my classmates, role models all, and in accepting this award, I hope I can be an inspiration to the next generation in my family. I know my parents would be so very proud. Thank you.
Well, Patsy, you have made a tremendous impact in the health of so many Atlantic Canadians and others around the world, and we are so pleased to present you with our Proudly UNB Award of Distinction. So please do come up and accept that award. I love how you can tell that everyone is beaming under the mask as the photos are taken. It's wonderful. Now, Thomas Liston, Bachelor of Business Administration, 1996, leader and community supporter. As one of the most sought-after minds in Canada's tech investment sector, Tom Liston has been tapped by several tech companies for their board of directors and was the chief investment officer of a leading technology-focused venture capital firm, where he made investments in fintech and healthcare IT fields. Two of those investments were among the top exits in Canadian technology in the past decade. Tom is consistently ranked among the top technology analysts in industry surveys and has received more StarMine stock-picking awards than any other technology analyst. Tom has been heavily involved with the UNB Faculty of Management's Student Investment Fund program, spending time mentoring students as well as chairing the Toronto Advisory Board. Many UNB grads and New Brunswickers credit his direct support for their employment or for commercial investments in their business. He tirelessly promotes New Brunswick and UNB on social media and in person, and he gives his time to Opportunities New Brunswick and the province's political leaders on a regular basis. He also volunteers his time as a mentor at the Future of Sport Lab in Toronto. He has raised over $100,000 for the MLSE Foundation to support kids in sport. And he was a lead investor and advocate for refurbishing Canada's oldest basketball court in St. Stephen.
So we first met Tom in 2003. UNB alumni. I took my students to Toronto to find out what it's like to get into the financial center. So not only do we see him every year, but then he became our regular keynote speaker at the Futures Atlantic Symposium. This was all about career opportunities for students getting into the investment business, but also career preparation.
He's been working outside of New Brunswick for, I think, over 2 decades since he graduated, but remains deeply committed and involved with the university and specifically the business faculty and the Center for Financial Studies. Through his work in the technology sector, it goes beyond just his day job, whether it was a research analyst or an investor, as a board member. I think he was very involved in supporting the technology sector in any way he can, including his own personal time.
Basically, Tom was our entry into the financial industry. He had gone through all the ropes. He knew how difficult it was for a UNB grad to get a foot in the door, but he had done it successfully. So he was our role model for student investment fund graduates of the future.
Good evening, everyone. To President Dr. Paul Mazerol, thank you for attending. More importantly, thank you for your leadership. UNB is very fortunate to have you. The UNB Associated Alumni Council, I cannot thank you enough for this recognition. This award means so much to me. It's an honor to be here on one of the most beautiful campuses in Canada to accept this recognition. To my friends and family in attendance this evening, thank you for coming and for your ongoing encouragement and support. During my time at UNB, I was given not only the tools, but also the confidence that I could succeed in my field of work. If I could find a few common threads among UNB alumni, I believe include strong work ethic, a desire to not only look at your own growth, but also to improve the community around them. And finally, they evoke trust, which is a quality that seems to be in shorter and shorter supply these days. This past summer, I witnessed the greatness of the UNB Alumni Network. Catherine McCain, former chair of the UNB Board of Governors, put me in touch with David Godong, another former chair of the UNB Board of Governors. David introduced me to the world's oldest basketball court project right here, just down the road in St. Stephen, New Brunswick. He noted UNB alumni Frank McKenna was involved as well. And when you hear that these 3 esteemed UNB alumni are involved in a project, you don't need to think about it. You know the project's going to be first class and have a huge impact on the community and the province. I was listening to a podcast of St. John's very own James Mollinger, who had the great Ian Henneman-Singh, also obviously a New Brunswicker, as his guest. And at one point in the middle of the interview, Ian paused for a moment and said, "New Brunswick is one of the most important parts of who I am." And I'll borrow that phrase and amend it to UNB is one of the most important parts of who I am. Congratulations to all the 2020 and 2022 winners. It's a huge honor to be in such esteemed company. Thank you.
Well, Tom, please come forward and accept your award. We're so grateful for the time and the talent that you've given and that you continue to give. And we are pleased to honor you this evening with the Alumni Award of Distinction. Well, next up, Anita Naidu, Bachelor of Science in Electrical Engineering 2005 and Master of Science in Chemical Engineering 2008, social advocate and humanitarian. Anita Naidu is an international award-winning humanitarian, engineer, pro athlete, and coach whose social advocacy and human rights projects have taken her to far-reaching corners of the world. She is a frequently sought-after keynote speaker and a DEI strategist for numerous global companies. Named as one of the world's most adventurous women by Men's Journal for her global humanitarian pursuits and athletic endeavors, Anita was part of a 3-person team that won the distinguished Google Impact Challenge for an app providing services to refugees, newcomers, and displaced people. Anita has also been recognized as one of the most influential women of the outdoors and as one of the 100 most provocative innovators and culture catalysts of 2019. The first woman of Indian origin to become a professional mountain biker, Anita rides for numerous top sponsors, widely recognized for her pioneering efforts in diversifying mountain sports, and is the founder of the Global Bike Fest series. She's received wide recognition for her work in developing tech solutions, providing social impact strategies for organizations, and raising awareness on modern-day slavery, human trafficking, and women's advancement.
So she is an engineer by profession. She is an athlete. She is a humanitarian. She is an advocate for individuals of all different races and classes to be able to conquer their fears, enhance their abilities, to strengthen themselves, to reach certain goals and aspirations that they have for themselves and bring them to the next level. And she just thrives off of that. She's done Engineers Without Borders. That has brought her on the humanitarian forefront. One thing she did was, with refugees in Syria and Lebanon, she created an app to provide resources. UNB offered her an opportunity to find out who she is, to understand who she is, to embrace who she is. And it taught her how to accept challenges, to be where she is today. She's driven. She's a very driven person.
It's particularly heartwarming not just to receive this award, but also to address a community that was instrumental in forming my beliefs on justice, equality, and fighting for a world that belongs to everyone. So I used to ride my skateboard from class to class at university inside the halls, an efficient way to get around. As a dark-skinned female athlete in extreme sports at a time before they were popular, I was accustomed to being a maverick in many situations. One of my first days at university, the Dean of Engineering saw me riding down the hall. Rather than scold me, he smiled and said, "Watch out for the trophy case." A small gesture, but it switched my feelings from being an outlier to belonging. And that's what UNB does best. It gives us a sense of belonging, which in turn helps us see the world as it ought to be and have the courage to fight for it. To rise to advocate not only for the issues that affect us, but for the things that affect those outside our direct circle. To take a knee to the moral defects of our time, race struggle, gender equity, climate emergency, rampant inequality. Before coming to university, I hadn't realized it would be such a radically transformative experience, civically, morally, intellectually, socially. I made some of my closest lifelong friendships within this community, and we celebrated a collective global heritage and a shared agenda of education to refashion society. And it's this that gave me the foundation to have a career in global crisis, humanitarianism, and inclusion, and balance that with being a professional athlete. So thank you immensely for this award. It's a reminder that if there is one responsibility we have to future generations, it is to not be a docile member of our generation, to feel injustice against others as our own, to rise to the challenges of our time and create the conditions for others to rise. Because as long as we have a shared deep love for humanity, with a willingness to fight for each other, we can always have hope for a better tomorrow.
Well, certainly fitting that Anita be honored tonight. We're very pleased to add Anita to our proudly UNB recipients wall. And Anita, making your way to the stage to receive your award. Peter Pacey, Bachelor of Arts, 1971, and Master of Education, 1980, community builder and preservationist. As an artist, athlete, entrepreneur, educator, heritage interpreter, and mentor, Peter Pacey has made significant contributions to his community, which stretches from the city of Fredericton to the province of New Brunswick and beyond. Peter taught English and Canadian literature at Fredericton High School and went on to lecture students at both UNB and St. Thomas. He has performed professionally at the National Arts Centre, Theatre NB, and Neptune Theatre. Of late, Peter specializes in personations, the public performance re-enhancement of historical figures ranging from Sir Howard Douglas to Lord Beaverbrook. He was also the 2016 recipient of the Playhouse Honours. Ever the community supporter, in 1979 he founded the Calathumpians, a local theatre company, and in 1982 the Fredericton Outdoor Summer Theatre was born. In Officer Square, between Canada Day and Labour Day, the Calathumpians are featured in free outdoor theatre where locals and visitors are presented with the history of New Brunswick in dramatic fashion, combining education, history, and entertainment. Not confined to the stage, Peter was also a founding builder of the Loyalist Rugby Club and of rugby in New Brunswick, and was part of UNB's 50-plus Ironmen reunion. Peter has dedicated many volunteer hours, being recognized by Rotary International with the prestigious Paul Harris Award and the Queen's Diamond Jubilee in 2012.
Peter always had a relationship with the University of New Brunswick. Prior to us, it turned out that he was the captain, of the UNB men's rugby team. I would find that out. Was a student, he was a lecturer, he was involved in sports, he was involved in theater. He's been involved in heritage, so in terms of of engaging people, making them interested in their history and bringing history alive and doing it with all ages, for for the locals and also for tourists. So he's been fantastic at sort of making Fredericton more of a creative and interesting hub. Not only he's like an elite athlete, he was a fantastic coach. He's an exceptional teacher, scholar, performer, creator, he's an activist. He's made Fredericton a place that's wonderful to live in.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Peter Pacey, and I'm proudly a UNBer. I'm so humbled by this huge honor, and I see it as a pinnacle, as reaching the heights of my alma mater, the top of my little mountain. I'm humbled and proud to stand among these fellow honorees. I am grateful to those who saw me deserving of such an honor, and I must personally thank fellow alumni Joan Golding-Marion, Jeff Meffin, and Kathy Fisher. Likewise, I must thank the Alumni Committee for selecting me among such illustrious company. I have many others to thank, of course, my parents, Desmond and Mary Pacey, and my siblings who molded me in multifarious ways. I must thank as well my three wives, Donna, Diane, and especially Kim, who inspired me and allowed me to do the things that brought this honor my way. Also, I must thank my three children, Sarah, Simon, and Will, all UNB grads, of whom I am so proud. I would be remiss if I did not express my gratitude to all my friends and cohorts. Doing whatever I did was always a group effort, and I am grateful for those who encouraged me and worked beside me to accomplish our many goals. Finally, I am thankful to all the professors and mentors at UNB who had such positive influences on me and my life's work and pleasure. I'll leave you with a few thoughts. Thanks to UNB. I am a lifelong student who grew up to become a teacher. I see myself as that way to this very day. They say if you can, do, and if you can't, teach. Well, I added a whole new level to that old saying. I say, if you can't teach, teach teachers. Or, as I used to say after I left the formal school system in the 1970s, I used to be a teacher, but I'm all right now. Thanks.
Well, Peter, please come up and accept your award. Certainly a storyteller. There's no stairs that way. You're a storyteller, and you've really made this community a place that is vibrant and meaningful. And for that, we are extremely proud to honor Peter Pacey with the Alumni Award of Distinction. Well, with over 96,000 alumni around the world, the impact of UNB is far-reaching. Since 1785, our university has been a leader in discovery, in innovation, in entrepreneurship. It's locally engaged, it's nationally relevant, and it's creating change and solving problems. So please join me in watching this next video, which tells UNB's story and shares some of its vision for the future.
This is a place where we turn ideas into action, to transform lives in our cities, our province, and beyond. As Canada's oldest English language university, we draw wisdom from our past, but our eyes are focused firmly on the future. Our vision is bold. We are expanding the horizons of learning from experiential to interdisciplinary, from professional to exceptional. Educating and inspiring the leaders and problem solvers of tomorrow. We are harnessing our knowledge and creativity, finding solutions for the grand challenges we face as a people and a world. Serving the public good through excellence and innovation. Joining forces with others at home and abroad to share, enrich, and grow our research and scholarship. We are strengthening and broadening our excellence through diversity. We are building an inclusive learning environment that embraces Indigenous research methods and knowledges. We are learning to walk this path together, knowing we are stronger when we are united in our purpose. Creating a more just and sustainable world where people and values are paramount. This is our time. The world needs more UNB.
What a dynamic video. Nice to see my hometown of St. John make an appearance there too. Always great to see. Really, this is an amazing university that we're all part of. So with that, let's continue with the presentation of awards. The first recipient of the 2022 Alumni Award of Distinction is John Dawes, Bachelor of Business Administration, 1969, a community builder and supporter. John Dawes has distinguished himself through a lifetime of service in the betterment of the many communities that he's part of. Even while a student at UNB, he led the overhaul of Frosh Week to focus on orientation, and he was instrumental in working with UNB administration to gain student representation on the Senate. We were fortunate to have John attend his 50th class reunion in 2019. He built a very successful career with the Canada Mortgage and Housing Corporation, which was punctuated by the wide-ranging push for social housing and affordable housing. His time in regional offices across the country and his ability to instill his sense of the common good in others contributed to improving the lot of many Canadians in their quest for housing. He's also given his time to leadership positions with the Rotary Club and with Shelterbox Canada, an international disaster relief organization that aids families devastated by conflict or natural disaster. John was part of the Canadian Shelterbox response team, leading the research, planning, and establishment of Shelterbox in Canada. John is no stranger to community causes. He was an influential fundraiser during his time as the former CEO of the Regina Hospital Foundation. he's been recognized for his efforts in developing and promoting good board governance practices in nonprofit organizations.
Right from the beginning, John was involved in social issues. He was involved in social issues on campus, and that did make a change from initiation to orientation, from student voice to representation in the Senate. And he then took it further through CMHC, his efforts and those with whom he worked to give affordable housing to those in need of it was considerable. In the area of fundraising, he made his mark. John makes no secret about he suffers from Parkinson's disease. He has now for a number of years. And he has worked very hard, along with others, his family included, to fundraise for Parkinson's out in Regina and in the Western provinces. So that really carries on from his early years of social involvement at UNB. And I think we could safely say that as John went from community to community across the country, he left a legacy there that probably endures to today. And hence that if there is an impact to be had, whether you were a direct beneficiary of it or whether you tangentially benefited from it. You might not know John Dawes, in fact, you will not know John Dawes, but you will know how you have benefited by the resources that are available to you. And I think that speaks to the impact that John had over his career post working with CMHC. 3 words that I would say that describes John to a T is commitment to betterment. Commitment to betterment. And by that, I mean that he devoted his university time, his career time, and his ancillary helping community time to leaving behind within any organization which he served a little better than when he joined. And I think that speaks to the character of the man. Commitment to betterment. That was John.
Well, we are very proud to recognize John this evening with a Proudly UNB Alumni Award of Distinction for his unwavering support of communities in need. Now, unfortunately, John is not able to join us tonight, but his brother, Steve Dawes, Bachelor of Business Administration, 1975, will be accepting the award on his behalf. Our next recipient is innovative researcher and changemaker Linda Duffett-Leger, Bachelor of Arts in Nursing, 1992, and 1996, respectively, Master of Nursing, 2006, and Doctor of Philosophy, Interdisciplinary Studies, 2011. Linda Duffett-Leger, while attending UNB, received several awards and scholarships, including the highly competitive National Cancer Institute of Canada and Canadian Institutes of Health Research Allied Health Professional Doctoral Fellowships. Now an assistant professor at the University of Calgary in the Faculty of Nursing, Linda has become highly regarded in the biomedical engineering community as a change maker. Her research recognizes a fundamental paradigm shift from the treatment of disease to wellness promotion by focusing on the development of innovative health promotion and disease prevention strategies and technologies. Recognized early in her career by Chatelaine magazine in 2009 for being one of the top 5 women in Canada, her interdisciplinary research in digital health technology has since been making a tremendous community and commercial impact. As a key member of the Sensor Technology in Monitoring Movement project, Linda has helped develop a commercially viable teaching and learning platform to enhance the student learning experience. The collaboration of engineering, kinesiology, nursing, and computer science led to a successful $1.6 million training NSERC Create grant for a training program in wearable technologies-focused innovation and commercialization. Her talents in user experience design have also been sought by other members of the UCalgary research community, from CSOM and the Workland School of Education, whom she is currently working with to pivot their interventions online.
But she's definitely carved her own path and is really interested in innovation and how to provide technologies to people so that they can improve their lives. And she's done some really interesting things around helping my research team take an intervention that used to be delivered in person and put it online. And this is the thing, Linda sees a problem and she'll find a technological solution, and I'm always so grateful for that. But we do something called, we code parent, not computer coding, but we code parent-child relationships. We have videos of parents playing with their babies or young children, and we code things like how sensitive the parent is, how responsive they are to the child's cues that signal needs and stuff like that. But Linda thought, well, if I'm developing this app for you, why don't we see about maybe automating this coding? Or we're calling that the Equip Project. And so Linda is helping us with that. And if that works the way we think it will be a game changer. Yeah, the words I would use to describe Linda are hardworking, driven, and persistent.
As a proudly UNB Award recipient, I'd like to take this opportunity to thank the Alumni Awards Selection Committee for the honor of being chosen for the UNB Alumni Award of Distinction, and offer sincere congratulations to the other award winners. I would also like to thank my friend and colleague, Dr. Nicole Letourneau, also a proud UNB alumni, for nominating me for this award. UNB holds a special place in my heart. Having completed 4 degrees at UNB, I spent the better part of my adult years here. My experiences at UNB instilled in me the importance of community service and prepared me for my work with interdisciplinary teams of researchers developing cloud-based digital health solutions, particularly relevant in a COVID-19 context. My experiences at UNB not only prepared me to be a nurse and researcher, but also inspired my entrepreneurial thinking. As a proud New Brunswicker, I've learned that what we might lack in cash, we certainly make up for with creativity. This is what drives innovation. I would also like to acknowledge the support of faculty mentors like Grace Getty and Dr. Kathy Wilson, as well as my former deans of nursing, Penny Erickson and Dr. Cherrill Gibson and Gail Storr. They all saw potential in me that some could not. Finally, I would like to thank my family for their constant support. I raised 3 daughters during my time at UNB, and I have learned that if you can survive graduate school while raising a family, you can do almost anything. You could say that academia and creating digital health innovations are in my DNA. My grandfather, educated in a one-room schoolhouse on Kierstead Mountain near Sussex, New Brunswick, challenged the matriculation exams to become the first from my clan to attend university and become a high school principal. He was a huge proponent of higher learning and basketball. I'm not sure why basketball, but at 5'5", higher learning was a far more attainable goal for me. My grandmother, also an educator from Gagetown, New Brunswick, had to abandon her love of teaching after marriage and always encouraged me to follow my dreams. My parents both studied at UNB. My mom studied nursing and became a nurse academic at the UNB nursing faculty, and my father studied electrical engineering. It is clear the apple does not fall far from the tree. Thank you.
Well, we're so honored to present Linda with the Proudly UNB Alumni Award of Distinction for her innovative approach to supporting the needs of healthcare. So Linda, please come up and accept your award. Our next recipient is Amanda O'Sullivan, Bachelor of Business Administration, 1986, mental health advocate, and creative leader. Amanda O'Sullivan is a chartered professional accountant who is passionate about advocating for improvements to mental health services through her volunteer work and board leadership with the Canadian Mental Health Association and CMHA New Brunswick. After practicing as a CPA, Amanda's career drew her toward a wide range of challenging and creative leadership roles in HR, marketing, IT, and strategic consulting, and coaching with iconic New Brunswick companies like Bell Alliant, Moosehead Breweries, Corey Nutrition, and now Mariner Innovations. She has a strong history of applying exceptional interpersonal skills to coach leaders and teams, helping them to redesign and transform their businesses through large organizational change projects. However, it is her passion for mental health that has really made her stand apart. She joined the board of directors for the Canadian Mental Health Association for New Brunswick in 2016 and has since assumed the roles of vice president, secretary, and president in New Brunswick, and treasurer at the national CMHA level. Amanda inspires and motivates through every interaction. Her support and advocacy for mental health as a universal human right has helped CMHA evolve to reach more clients and participants in a meaningful way.
You know, over time, I learned from Amanda that she had an abiding interest in mental health, and you know, kind of kept mentioning to me, you know, if there's any opportunities to keep her posted. And then we did have some opportunities at CMHA, Canadian Mental Health Association of New Brunswick, kind of reshape our vision, take a serious look at what our strategic plan is. In fact, she's got us embarked on our first strategic planning process in a number of years, which is going to, you know, really pay off and is already paying off in terms of the supports and services and advocacy that Canadian Mental Health Association is able to provide for people around the province. But she has this really positive influence on the people who are around the people in New Brunswick who are getting served by the Canadian Mental Health Association.
Hello, I'm Amanda O'Sullivan, and I'm so grateful and feel such a great privilege to be able to sit in front of you today to express my gratitude to be a recipient of the UNB Alumni of Distinction. There are so many amazing graduates and students that call UNB their home, including my daughter Lauren, who graduated in 2014. I have been very fortunate to have worked with innovative companies and such great people along the way. And it's just hard to believe, since graduating in 1986, the opportunities and where has time gone leading up to today. The work that I do with Canadian mental health, both at the national New Brunswick level, is the most meaningful work that I've done in my life. It is an organization made up of passionate, empathetic mental health professionals. We have over 7,000 employees across the country. Our mission is to ensure that all people in Canada have good mental health and well-being. Our goal is to be the leading voice for mental health in Canada. And we feel such an urgency to improve, to make a difference in both the social and systems that we have in place for our children, our families, our future generations, our colleagues. I'm so very proud to be part of this organization. I learn every day. I'm so very appreciative of being able to help in any small way. And I'm just very grateful for today. Thank you so very much.
Well, we are proud to honor Amanda with this award for her leadership in promoting and supporting mental health and wellness. So, Amanda, please come forward and accept your award. And the final recipient of this award, of the 2022 Alumni Award of Distinction, is Cherrill Edwina Shea, Bachelor of Arts, 1969, and Bachelor of Laws, 1972, changemaker and visionary. Cherrill Edwina Shea made a mark in the world by building upon an all-New Brunswick education. She earned her BA at UNB in 1969 and her law degree from UNB Law School in 1972, one of just 5 women in her class. She was admitted to the practice of law as a barrister and solicitor in New Brunswick in 1972. She began her career at what is now the Stewart McKelvey firm, where her work was focused on litigation. That background led to her moving to New York, working at a law firm in corporate and securities litigation. She handled major complex litigation and arbitration matters in Canada, the United States, and Europe for diverse corporate and commercial clients. Later in her career, Cherrill was a member of the senior management of an entrepreneurial telecommunications company that pioneered the cellular telephone and mobile data businesses. Cherrill has served on a number of charitable boards and has, for years, provided valued scholarship support to UNB students. In addition, Cherrill currently serves on the Dean's Advisory Council at UNB Law School. She spent time in the past few years focusing on various plans and projects for the benefit of UNB.
Sherry has had a stellar career in law and then became president and COO of RAM Broadcasting Corporation. And it was in that company that she became a pioneer in the emerging cellular telephone industry. But I think that she was and continues to be an inspiration and a role model to women, because I think what she has proven and demonstrated is that irrespective of gender, irrespective of your place of origin, with determination, you can excel and you can succeed in whatever field you choose to practice in and wherever that practice may be. It's very difficult to limit myself to a few words in describing Sherry's many attributes, but the ones that come quickly to mind would be her keen intellect, her incredible work ethic, and my favorite, the fact that she is totally unpretentious despite her numerous accomplishments.
First, a word of thanks to the Associated Alumni of UNB for this award I never anticipated and certainly appreciate. When I attended UNB Law School, the faculty was entirely male, and women among the students were few and unwelcome by some. When told by professors that we were taking the place of men or that we would make fine legal secretaries, we were not deterred. All 5 of the women in my law school class of 1972 worked in their chosen profession until their retirements in government, as a judge, or in private practice. Law school taught us that we had to exceed by a wide margin the low expectations we faced, and that if an opportunity arose, it had to be seized then and there. My opportunity to show that I could play with the big boys arose in the most fortuitous manner. I was working as an articled clerk with the firm of the late and very highly regarded Neil McKelvey QC, now Stewart McKelvey in St. John. I was paid next to nothing for the privilege of my 9 months clerking, which was a condition to my being admitted to the bar. To make ends meet, I worked as a waitress at the now long gone White House Lodge, where I would go each evening after working all day at the law firm. Neil McKelvey was engaged by a firm in New York City to act for a notorious financier, Bernie Kornfeld, who was embroiled in a massive corporate litigation with another notorious financier named Robert Vesco. The litigation arose in the aftermath of a proxy fight between Kornfeld and Vesco for the control of iOS Limited, a very peculiar Canadian legal entity that could be sued only in St. John. My responsibility in the litigation was to assist Neil McKelvey in his preparation for trial and at the trial itself. Accordingly, on every court day, I put on a black robe and attended the proceedings to assist Neil, and each evening I traded my robe for a waitress's uniform and trudged off to the White House Lodge to serve guests steaks and seafood I could not possibly afford. One Friday evening after court, I went to the restaurant when Vesco's lawyers from New York, Washington, D.C., and New Brunswick arrived for dinner. I recognized them, but they did not recognize me, dressed as I was rather differently from the robes in which they had seen me earlier in the day. 3 years in law school told me that these lawyers, all men, were about to make a mistake, and that their likely indiscretion was my opportunity. I did what every law school-trained waitress would know to do in the circumstances. I contrived to serve their table and listened. While serving Vesco's lawyers their drinks, wine, and dinners, I learned that they had determined to put one over on Neil McKelvey by serving emergency motion papers on Neil's firm late that day after business hours, when they knew that Neil had gone sailing on the St. John River for the weekend. The motion was returnable on Monday morning in Fredericton when they were certain Neil would not be present since he would know nothing of the motion. I took that information that night to another partner in the firm who had a boat with a radio, and we called Neil to advise him of the plot. Neil sailed up the St. John River to Fredericton and was waiting on the courthouse steps when the plotters arrived for the hearing on that Monday morning. They never knew how their plot was foiled and would never admit that their indiscretion was their undoing, or that they were outwitted by a waitress for whom they left an ungenerous tip. They would hardly have understood that their design unraveled because women law students at UNB had been hardened by experience and knew to act decisively when the need arose. I owe UNB both for my formal education and for the less formal but equally valuable instruction in the need for judgment, integrity, and resilience. The standing of women has, of course, changed greatly with time. Still, challenges remain and can be met only by well-educated people, including people whose financial circumstances, like my own, made the cost of education a challenge in itself. I hope that the scholarships that I have been funding ameliorate the financial difficulties of promising scholars obtaining needed education. I am also working with UNB to assure a continuing focus upon the study of and support for civil rights and liberties and the rule of law, because those matters never lose significance. To the law professors who said that I was taking the place of a man, my answer then was, and is now, you got that right. But to them I also say thank you, because they helped to prepare me for what was to come in a long and interesting career. My support of UNB is in some part an expression of that thanks.
Well, someone needs to make a movie out of that story about Neil McKelvey, I think. Now, we're delighted to present Cherrill with the Proudly UNB Award of Distinction for her continued support of UNB and its students, changing perceptions and inspiring others along her path, clearly. Now, Cherrill does send her heartfelt regrets. She's unable to join us this weekend, but accepting on her behalf is longtime friend Peter Coates, Bachelor of Business Administration, 1983. Which brings us to our final award to be presented this evening, the Alumni Award of Honor. And created in 1971, this award recognizes the important role played by alumni in promoting the associated alumni and the university, helping it to achieve and maintain its position of prominence among Canadian universities. Tonight, we honor Marc Bedard, Bachelor of Administration, 1974, an ambassador who truly embodies all that is UNB. Marc Bedard is a familiar name to many UNB alumni. He has been an outstanding supporter of UNB and the Alumni Association for many years. Following in the footsteps of his father, Ted Bedard, who received the Alumni Award of Honor in 1978, Marc bleeds UNB pride through and through. The Bedard family has a strong connection with UNB, with Marc's mother, son, and his three sisters also being proud UNB graduates. During his 30-year business career as a top corporate executive in Ontario, he was recognized for his professional accomplishments with the Faculty of Business Certificate of Achievement, hired more than a few UNB grads, and attended many UNB alumni events in the region. Marc began his time with the UNB Alumni Association in 2007 as treasurer and later as president, and over the course of his cherished time on council made deep connections with fellow graduates around the world and left a positive mark in the alumni community. He continually encouraged alumni to give back to UNB by attending events in their local communities, supporting UNB athletic teams, providing support to students through financial donations, or volunteering time and expertise as a mentor. This he did through words and by example. He has also served on UNB's Board of Governors and on the UNB Faculty of Management's Advisory Board. Marc led the creation of a class scholarship and bursary to help UNB business students and has been a positive force in organizing his Class of 74 reunions. With great support from family and friends, he also initiated the establishment of the Ted and Betty Bedard Bursary, which now exceeds $50,000 and is awarding $2,000 annually.
Probably first met him when he received the Business Faculty's Alumni Achievement Award, and he had recently retired as the controller for Canadian Tire. So that, this is a big corporate wheel. He's obviously brilliant, but he's so humble and unassuming that he's just a really, really good guy. Marc had a lot of contributions because he had so many perspectives. That he was an alumnus with the BBA. He had gone to an accounting stream. His son Ben is also a BBA alumnus from here, so he had kind of the parents' perspective, and then he was also beginning to get involved with the Associated Alumni at the time. And of course, he had a great corporate career, so he had a lot of helpful advice for how to run the faculty.
Marc, when he came back in his role on the Alumni Council, or his various roles, he brought his business skills, his attention to detail, his ability to analyze a situation and determine what were the best ways forward for the organization. The Bedard family legacy, certainly for my father, was always one of giving back and being involved. And then for my brother, it was equally so when he came back to New Brunswick and got involved on the Alumni Council.
I can think of very few people who have given so much time to help the university.
Good evening, President Jeffrey, President Mazerol, my fellow award recipients, ladies and gentlemen. I am very pleased to accept this award from the Associated Alumni, and I thank you for this recognition. Congratulations to the other award recipients, and especially to my fellow BBA 74 classmate, Brian Freeman, who is being recognized this evening as a Volunteer of the Year for all the work he does for the UNB Red Bomber football team. My family has a strong connection to UNB. My grandfather graduated in 1923 with a degree in engineering, my mother in 1948 with a BA, and my father in 1949 with a degree in forestry. My three sisters, my oldest son, my oldest nephew, and a couple of nieces have also attended UNB. My father was active in the UNB in hockey. He played for the Red Devils in the late 40s and was assistant coach for 10 years in the 50s and 60s. My father was also active in the support of the Alumni Association and was recognized with the Proudly UNB Award of Honor in 1978. UNB was a big part of my family growing up in Fredericton. I've always enjoyed attending UNB and alumni events and supporting the university in any way I can, and I will continue to do so. In honor of our parents, my sisters and I created the Ted and Betty Bedard Bursary, and with support from family and friends, this bursary is now awarded to a deserving New Brunswick student. I led the development and the establishment of the BBA Class of 1974 Scholarship and Bursary, and these are awarded annually to a UNB Fredericton BBA student. My business degree at UNB developed my interest in accounting, and I followed that up with a MBA at McMaster University and then a professional accounting designation. I benefited from the BBA I obtained at UNB, and it provided a strong base for my career in business. When I retired in 2005 and moved back to New Brunswick, I soon became involved in volunteering on Alumni Council as the treasurer, and went on to serve as vice president and president of the association. I also served on the board of governors for a 3-year term. In 2006, I joined the advisory board for the Faculty of Business Administration at UNB, and I served as chair of that board from 2008 to 2015. I have enjoyed working with a number of the executive directors of the association, including Art Doyle, Bob Skillen, Marc Hazlitt, Rob Parker, and Margaret Grant McGivney, as well as current and former staff members, and I thank them for the support they provided. And of course, the many volunteers on Alumni Council, including past presidents Carrie Ryan, Barry Beckett, Kevin Ferguson, Larry Hashey, Heather Nielsen, Brooke Yates, Jill Jolino, and Peter Syroyd. I especially want to thank my wife, Charlotte Stanton, who has been a very positive influence in my life and supported me in all my business endeavors and volunteer activities. As a successful entrepreneur in her own career, she provided me with much valuable advice both in my professional and personal life. Without her, I doubt very much I would have had the success I had. She truly is an amazing person. Thank you again to the Associated Alumni for this award. It is greatly appreciated. Enjoy the rest of your evening.
Well, Marc has generously given his time, talent, and treasure to help UNB, fellow UNBers and students, and we're thrilled to honor him this evening. It is with great pride that we present Marc with this well-deserved Alumni Award of Honor. Now, Marc is unable to join us this evening. He sends his sincerest regrets. He was very much looking forward to connecting with UNB friends that he hasn't seen in some time. But accepting on his behalf is Julien Albert, a longtime friend and former classmate. This is the Award of Honor rocker. Well, this concludes the award ceremony portion of the 2020 and 2022 Proudly UNB evening. And I hope that you're feeling the way that I am, which is inspired, honestly, and proud of our fellow alumni. UNB continues to be the foundation on which so many remarkable accomplishments are built, and this story continues long past this evening. So thank you very much to the Associated Alumni for inviting me to MC tonight. It's been wonderful to be back in Fredericton at my old campus, witnessing the achievements of all of these graduates, and truly this has been a highlight for me. I also would like to take the opportunity to thank a number of individuals, a number of groups that made tonight possible. Our event sponsors, TD Meloche Monex, UNB MasterCard, MBNA, and Manulife. Members of the Alumni Council, many of whom are here tonight. Special thanks as well to our great team at the Alumni Office who were instrumental in organizing this evening. And of course, Sodexo, the wonderful food and refreshments. The staff here in the back at the Richard Curry Center as well. Thank you to all of you. And also to Aurora Productions. And most of all, thank you to all of you for coming. And you're invited now to join us for a short reception, connecting with your UNB friends and congratulating this year's recipients. So please enjoy the remainder of your night. It's been a pleasure.